host, Justin Baptiste.
And welcome back to another episode of Baptiste by Fire, Conversations with Justin. We dive into the stories, struggles, and triumphs of our incredible guests. I'm your host, Justin Baptiste. Coming to you live from Toronto, Canada, all the way in Hawaii. We're here with a very special guest. This woman right here needs no introduction. She's been killing the scene in Toronto, Canada. She's got a big distribution deal with Roc Nation, part of Certified Cash Corporation, and is doing nothing but great things in her career, inspiring the youth, the next generation, and just being herself as an artist and a person. Pleased to have here with me, Neena Brown. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm really glad to be on this interview. And all the way from Hawaii. You're lucky. It's so hot over there. It's freezing in Toronto right now.
Well, I'm definitely hoping you keep yourself warm over there.
Of course, of course. Honestly, I've been just recording, getting ready for another album. So I have a single out right now, so I've been pushing that. I have a video coming out for my single Addicted right now, and then I'm working on more music. So I'm hoping to have an album. Well, I'm gonna have another album out in another couple months, probably even sooner, another single. But you guys will see.
Most definitely. Now, you just recently released Addicted, which is your EP back in November 2024. Tell us about the latest EP. Can you share with us the inspiration and what can listeners expect from that?
Well, Addicted is one of my most recent singles. I recorded that a while ago. Just released it in November. But yeah, no, what do you want to know? Sorry. What did you want to know exactly with Addicted? Like how I like what about it?
Yeah, pretty much, how did you come up with the EP and what can
Okay.
listeners expect from the EP?
Yes, so how I came up with it, I actually had the song for a while. I had it on another beat, whole different instrumentalist made the beat. But then I met this other dude. He was way cooler. His name's Game Theory. Shout out Game Theory. He makes like majority of her beats now. And he actually remade the beat and it sounded really good. Like the beat was amazing when he made it. So from there, like it was just from other cool people and their cool ideas inspiring my own ideas. So that kind of is how We're Addicted came from. The inspiration of writing it, I was just thinking about things that I'm addicted to. Like I wasn't in a specific mode. But I think I was in the studio recording with someone else was in the studio, and it kind of just came to me. I'm like, oh shoot, that would be a cool line. Then I had it in my notebook, and then I found a beat, and then one thing led to another. And what can they expect? More so just really cool content. A music video, really cool music video you can expect from the EP. And yeah, I mean, the song itself, I just wanted to show everyone like just be happy with what you're addicted to. Like I'm addicted to doing better and being better in life. So it's kind of like what are you addicted to type of thing. I kind of wanted to share that message with people like, like be addicted to things, but to positive things, like not the negative stuff.
Well, definitely. Now, how does Addicted differ from your previous work, and what themes or emotions does it explore?
Okay, so how does it differ? I mean, I feel with a lot of my newer songs, I'm more confident, meaning like have more, yeah, I sound more confident. If you go back in my previous releases, you'd hear the difference in my voice. So I definitely feel what's different about it is the fact that I sound more confident, I'm more out of my shell, the message I brought to it. And this was one of my first songs that I actually released through Roc Nation distribution, which is pretty big for me. And that song is still getting plays up to this day. Like, there's so many people listening to it. So people love the song, which I'm really grateful for. And what was the second part of your question?
Um, Pretty much what I was getting to was what themes or emotions.
Oh, yeah, themes and emotions. So mainly addiction and I would say overcoming the negative stuff. So feeling wise, I would just say I haven't really thought about the feeling. But the feeling of the song itself is just, being positive and grinding for what you want. But the song mainly my song, my message of the song was trying to say that I'm addicted to I'm addicted to money. I'm addicted to like being better at life. So the whole theme of that song was just to push, hey, like be addicted to something good in your life, you know? Like that's kind of where I was going with it. Did I kind of answer your question right?
Now, you recently just mentioned about creating another album, which that's in the works right now for you. But back in May of 2024, you released your third studio album, Everything I Prayed For.
Yes, I
So,
did.
with your third studio album that you released, how does that album affect your growth as an artist, and what was the creativity process for you? And how would it compare or contrast to your previous work?
Well, honestly, I gotta say, the Everything I Prayed For album, I feel was one of like my one of my favorite albums. I feel I was most confident in a lot of my songs. It took a lot for me to be more comfortable in my voice and actually speak about my experiences, sing and rap about them. So it kind of took me a little while to get out of that. But that was one of my favorite albums because I loved all the songs. I loved the energy I brought onto there. I really wanted to push the fact that I got everything that I wanted in my life. Like, I feel like I'm at a point in my life that I've actually achieved a lot. I mean, I have way more to achieve, but from when I was five, like from a young girl up until 20, up until now, like, I'm manifesting my dream. And that's kind of where that album came from. I really loved that album and the message of it because I felt as a person, I kind of grew. I felt as a person, I came out of that show. You know, growing up, I had a like kind of a hard time with my family, so those struggles kind of I internalized them. So just until a couple years ago, I kind of started being more open about my trauma and what I went through with my family. So that's kind of why that's where that album came from. And that's why I would say it's more my favorite.
Now, when we talk about your personal journey and influences and some of like the early life and environment with you in your career, you grew up on South Side of Jane Street. How did your upbringing and environment shape your relationship with music and your early experiences? Um,
Um,
Talk about just how does it influence just your overall themes and messages with your music?
yes. Well, originally, like I was born there. Eventually my family, we moved out of there into a nice neighborhood, which was really kind of helped me see that you could come out of a negative situation. You don't have to stay struggling. You don't have to stay in that neighborhood. You can get out of there and you can come out and be somebody. Like everyone from Jane Street has always been someone pretty big and made a big difference, I feel. So how that influences me is just taking the small area or the small place I came from and just representing something big and just representing something positive, something that can spread to the world and not just that area. I really wanted to help be a voice for the people in the community as well, not just that area specifically, but for the Caribbean folks, for the West Indian folks, for the people that have a hard time in their families being themselves, being able to speak up about certain things because a lot of people have a stigma and a lot of people are like to silence people and their problems. They don't like to talk about what's really happening. So I like to use what I've went through or use where I came from to really depict my story and help other people come through and come out of a negative situation.
Now, for you as an artist, who is Neena Brown? And I know you mentioned about advocating and being a voice for just the community for your people. Um, how do you want to do that in your career as an artist? And if you could describe yourself as who is Neena Brown?
Honestly, who is Neena Brown? Neena Brown is honestly me. Neena Brown, I feel like she's just a bunch of positivity. She honestly, speaking of third person, me, honestly, I feel that Neena Brown is someone that has a really strong personality and uses her words and her lyrics as a weapon, not trying to thrive using just my looks or um, just talking about nonsense type of thing, but actually using a real story and real content to actually, bring people on board to speak about or to talk about their life type of thing. But Neena Brown, honestly, she's just a bunch of positivity. Her words are just able to change the world. So, and that's what my music's gonna do. So I want to change the world in a positive way. So I would say Neena Brown is kind of I wouldn't say a hero. I'm not a hero, but I would like to be one. I would like to help people out of their situations. And I would like to be a positive light for women and other minorities, you know?
Well, definitely. And I've known about you for quite some time. I understand that in regards to music, you would say that music is a safe place or a safe
Mhm.
haven for you in your career. How does it serve to you as an emotional outlet in music? And how do you channel, personal experiences and emotions into your songs?
How do I channel into them? Honestly, it's more so a feeling I get and a vibe. So if I have a vibe or a feeling, like there's still situations in my childhood, for example, with my family, the whole thing with my brother abusing me when I was a young girl. I've spoken about those things in songs. So they've really helped me. It's really helped me to speak about them in music because it's helped me actually come out of my shell. It's actually helped me. How do I say it? I used to have a hard time just speaking about my experiences. I never used to be able to talk about them. So music actually gave me that voice, which is crazy because I never thought in a million years I would ever stand up to my parents or stand up to my family or stand up to anyone. Saying, hey, this is my life. This is what I'm going to do with it. This is what actually happened to me as a kid. Like, we need to figure it out. And if you're not going to be here 100% or 100% support me along my journey, then I just need to get out of there. And, music became my safe haven, my outlet. Um, when I got kicked out, essentially, and I had to start sleeping in a studio. Um, Shout out Billy Byrne, shout out to Certified Cash. They're my team, and they've honestly held me down and been there for me from day one. So that's honestly been helping me, like, from that moment on. Every time I've had a negative situation, I've always learned to just put it into words. And even if I can't put it into a song right that second, I'll just write about it, just vent to myself about it. And from there would come along a really great line. I'll use that for a song. Like sometimes it gets inspired by a bunch of things, by a feeling, by a thought.
And speaking about that, which is a follow-up question for you, when did you realize that music was not only a passion, but also a platform for your voice? Now, knowing about you and your career, I know that you started at the age of 6 in
hmm
regards to music. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in music? And growing up, any other career goals in mind?
So for the first part, could you just repeat the first part? I have a little bit of short-term memory loss.
Yeah. So, when was your realization that music was not only just a passion for you, but also a platform for your voice?
So when did I realize it was a passion? I mean, I've always been passionate about music, but the one thing that held me back was my confidence. I felt like I didn't think I was good enough to actually go in a booth and people would actually like my music or like my voice. So one day, how did it happen? I was actually in college and I'm still in college now. I just kept switching out of programs. I just stopped going. I was a little depressed, so I had a hard time just keeping the momentum up and staying in school. Um, and I've always loved singing and I've loved music, but I've always just brushed it to the side. I was like, no, I tried to discover other things in my life, but it didn't really work out. I was not happy doing those things, doing a regular college program and working a regular job type of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it wasn't me. So I decided to actually take it onto myself, find a studio, actually just start feeling my voice. What do I want my sound to be like? And I knew I was good at singing, and that's what I originally started. That's how I discovered I had a voice, was through singing. And when I came into the when I first came into the game, I started to I was rapping more. I think I was scared to sing because I was scared that my voice wasn't like enough. Like I was really self-conscious about that. But to ever think I ever was a crazy thing because I ended up realizing that this is my passion. Everything I tried in my life never really worked out like that, and this actually felt right. So it just felt like it was the universe's sign for me to actually full-fledged go into music. I went into the studio for about a year. This is different than the certified studio. And then after a year, I'm like, okay, I think I'm a little more comfortable. I'm going to try to look out for managers and look out for a cool company that can actually help me and actually care about the music. And yeah, I found certified. I found Billy, and we were it was really he had great vibes and he loves music, so I love he's a great mentor. Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, it's clearly you've had a passion for music for quite some time.
Hmm.
Age of 6 is when you
Yeah.
started your career in music.
Well, I started to discover I had a voice at 6. My career started mainly when I was 20, 19 turning 20. And I was in seeing a vocal coach from middle school until high school for a couple years. So just clarifying.
Since it was the start at 6, growing up now that you're a lot older, any other career goals that maybe you might have wanted to pursue, or has it always just kind of been music since that age of 6?
Honestly, my dream career has always been to be in music, to be a musician. That's never really changed. I don't feel like I'm good at other things, but the way how I feel about music, it's like it fits. Like it's like a puzzle piece. It's like it's just perfect. I feel it inside of myself that like this is what I want to do. Of course, everything around music is something that I would want to do. I like the music business aspect, so when I'm not in the studio, I'm also learning about music business, learning about the industry, and learning about a bunch of stuff just to keep my brain going. Other than that, though, I do actually have. I wouldn't say it's a career goal, but it would just be to help people, help the homeless, help I'm a part of a judgment. I'm a part of a nonprofit called Judgment Committee, and their actual goal is to help the homeless people and youth and the helpless in Toronto, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. I like that. I like that.
And I think as artists, we can do a lot for the community. People love your music. People are going to listen to you. People love your voice. People love your image. People love what you stand for. People are going to listen to you. But you have to do it the right way. You have to come positive. You have to do things that you know people are going to benefit from. So I'm a people person. I like people. So I would love to, other than music, it would just be nonprofit work type of thing.
I like that. That is really good. Now, of course, there's challenges and there's growth and development with everything in life. What has been some of the hardest moments that you face, both personally and professionally, as an artist?
Personally, I definitely would say, like in the first few years of getting serious with music, my challenge was I had a little bit of an addiction problem with alcohol, and that was because I'm Guyanese. We have being an alcoholic is just in your blood. And I never got the talk from my family like, hey, there's an alcoholism problem in your family, you should watch yourself. But that was my problem a little bit. It wasn't bad. It was something that I noticed it was a challenge that I felt like I needed at the time, but it was more that was replaced over time. I started to see that it was not a good habit. So I started to replace the feeling, just getting more into the music. So another challenge was, my confidence, a little bit of, yeah, confidence, not and letting go of negative habits. And and what was the other part of the question?
I guess the follow up is, how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah. Well again, so I overcame the little bit of the alcohol problem through just doing more positive things. I was a little bit lost and in a little dark place. So the more I desired to be in a positive place, deep down. So I tried to find positive outlets, being around positive people, trying to just surround myself with positivity as much as I could. And one thing led to another. I reshaped my mind and I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking, "Hey, I need a drink now. I'm upset," like type of thing. But it is a type of challenge though. I definitely still have feelings like that, but it's not like I don't do it at all. It's just you just have to be aware of your challenges and where you struggle and just monitor it type of thing.
Now, earlier we had mentioned about yourself as an artist and what it represents and how you've overcome a lot of things in your career and how you're continuing to strive in your career for excellence. As an artist, you dive into R&B, soul, hip hop, and pop, to name a few. But being versatile, I guess, how did you develop that style and influences in music? Who would they have to be?
My R&B influence, like, are you asking like my R&B influences or like what influenced me to get into those genres?
Yeah. What what
Okay.
influenced you to get into those genres since you are versatile in those areas?
Honestly, I love music. I love all types of music, but those genres of music I absolutely love. Like I can listen to R&B, I can listen to pop, I can listen to hip hop, I can listen to rap, and I won't get tired of it. Like I can listen to like cultural music, Caribbean music, and like what kind of made me always get into that stuff was the fact that I loved it. Like I every time I heard that type of genre, or those genres specifically, like I just really liked it. I really enjoyed the singers and their voices. I liked how in R&B you can tell a story, you can talk about a relationship. It's really you can talk about anything in music. I just like the versatility of those specific genres because it wasn't specifically sad or happy songs. It was all over the place type of thing. So, what influenced me was just the fact that I liked it. I tried it out. I think a lot of people have given me feedback and said my voice sounds good in those type of genres. So I kind of followed the feedback I got. I honestly just personally enjoyed those genres. Those were something I grew up on. My dad loved old school tunes, old school country tunes. I don't know if you're from the islands, but a lot of Caribbean people love their country tunes and they love a lot of white folks music. So I have a lot of different taste. My siblings, my sister, she's almost 10 years older than me. So growing up, I had a lot of old school influences when it came to R&B, hip hop, and pop. So that kind of influenced me too, is my family. They were older than me. I'm the baby in my family. Regardless of all the stuff we went through, we're working on things, but I have a couple good relationships in that family still. So my sister being one of them. And yeah, she definitely had some good music taste. So I definitely learned a lot. Learned like, delved into those genres because of what was around me growing up too.
Is there a specific artist that you model yourself after?
No, honestly, I'm just using myself. I love a lot of artists. Like I can name a list of like a bunch of artists I love. Like I'm one of those people, like I don't have a specific favorite artist because there is so many good artists out there. Yeah. But I really like Beyonce, of course, Rihanna. I wouldn't say I try to be like them, but they do inspire me as brown-skinned women, like what to wear, what to look like, how to do your makeup, how to, what your subject of a song should be like. For inspiration, looks wise, inspiration, musically, I definitely look at artists like those ones and a few other ones as well.
Awesome, awesome. Let me just pause this real quick. So, with all your success that you've been having in your career, I mean, it definitely wouldn't have been made possible without a team, collaborations, and having mentorship and just being able to thrive in those settings and the atmosphere. So, definitely got to
Mhm.
ask you about your mentor, Billy Burnz, and your team. How has that shaped your career, and what role do they play in not only just your artistic growth, but your decision making as well too?
Yes. My team, so we're all a team. Billy is he's of course the boss, but he's really cool. He treats everyone as like a team member. He looks at the company as a team, like not like, hey, you do this, you do that. Like we all are a team, we all do things together. Creative control, we all kind of have our own creative control. Of course, if it's like, you know, um, negative or rude, like we don't promote that here. So he definitely or we as a team definitely would make sure everything is just positive. Everyone has the control to do what they want here, but of course within a respectful means. But they definitely my team shapes me a lot with my decision making because they're my Billy Burnz named me. He had the name Neena Brown for years, and he said I fit that name. I fit that with my personality and how I was. So he helped my career. He helped birthed my career in a way. Not in a way he did, visually, but when it comes to music and content, the ideas like that's like myself. It's ever him too. He's really good with writing and has some songs from because he's been doing music longer than me and he's had songs just raked up behind him like he needs a singer for this, he needs a singer for that. So he had some really great songs that he wanted me to use my voice on, so I found that really cool. So my team, or Billy for example, he's a music genius, so he knows how to tell you, hey, this isn't the right sound, maybe try it like this, maybe say it like this instead. Um, but they're a big influence, you know. When I went through the whole thing with my family and they kicked me out, they certified took me in. Billy took me in, and we stayed in the studio. And it was one of the best decisions I made because I am where I am now in a great home in a great area and practicing and doing music, what I love to do. And it's only up from here. And I realized it's about your team. You know, if you don't have a good team and people that you trust and people that you can laugh with and have a good time with and go through things with, and you're not really going to get far. It's about who your team is and not switching up on them and staying true to them because they're the ones that helped you get here in the first place. They're the ones that are going to go hard for you and make sure that you win at the end of the day. So my team is my family. You know, I look at them as family. Billy, I look at him as family. He's everything to me. So I'm so appreciative of my team. Yeah.
And
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
And alongside that, our team has actually been able to get onto Roc Nation distribution, which is pretty big. And I love the fact that we're able to level up and make movements together. So yeah.
Definitely got to ask you about your artist name. I know that you briefly mentioned it now, but when I, look at your name, there's only one movie that I think about is New Jack City. So is there some kind of part in naming it, maybe based off of just that name? It was, because Nino Brown,
Oh, Neena Brown. No.
or
I actually have to ask. I think it might have been. He probably tried. Billy's a genius like that. He will play on names. He'll play on um he'll play on names. He's a really cool wordplay dude. Like I need to learn from him and I'm learning from him and learning from the team about how to be better with the names, but yeah, that's his talent. He's really good with the with wordplay and lyrics. That's his thing. Like he's just a not just a well-rounded guy, but he's pretty genius in everywhere. Pretty genius in all aspects. You should interview him next.
now being from Toronto, Canada, I definitely got to ask you, what is it to represent Toronto, Canada, and to be an artist from there?
What is it like? What is it like? Honestly, it's kind of lonely at times. You know, in Toronto, a lot of the mainstream music I find is not like pushing the right message. So when you're an artist not trying to be on that mainstream type of message and you want to push good music, it gets kind of lonely sometimes. You mean you have listeners, you have an audience, but you kind of feel like there's more you can do here, but the audience is like always grasped by what's crazy sometimes. So you kind of have to just it just feels a little bit like yeah, a little lonely, a little bit in the back. But that's how Toronto, I would feel, is. Needs to reshape their music and needs artists like myself, needs artists like Billy, needs artists that actually push music for music and not the other stuff.
Touching on back on what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, I understand how you got involved with Certified Cash and what made you choose them, of course, as your management. Of course, they've been very big on you and supporting your goals and supporting your vision.
Sorry.
Tell us a little bit about just Certified Cash as your management team. How have they supported your vision and your career goals? And talk about your distribution deal with Roc Nation. I know that that's something that's very big for you. So how has that helped your career as well?
Certified Cash, they honestly helped me so much. They help me in a lot of ways. They're not just the type of label that'll just say, just they're the type of label that actually helps you develop, that helps you write the music, that's in the process, that's in the creative process. So, what I love about the team is that, or what I love about Certified is that they're about the music, they're about the art, about the craft. So, that definitely plays a big part in my success or in my accomplishments because you need that. You need that type of support during the creative process sometimes. And for the second part of the question,
Yeah. For the second part of the question that I was asking you was talk about your distribution deal with Roc Nation and how has that partnership helped you in your career?
yes. So honestly, I just got onto Roc Nation less than a year, but I've seen improvement like a lot with my listeners and my audience outreach. Being on a good distribution really could get you some great opportunities. You have the right people looking at you this time, people that care about music, that care about talent, and not just crazy, stupid, viral stuff, but actually doing music and making a real impact in the game. So it's definitely changed my career a lot. making music that matters, not just putting it out there and hoping the right person hears it. The right person is always listening to your music. It's just you got to keep doing the right thing, making the right impact, and that's what Roc Nation distribution and certified cash has helped me with. Just pushing my music in the right ears, in the right audience.
Absolutely. I mean, a big thing in the industry is like who you know.
And yeah, and shout out to Rel Carter. He was an A&R. We met back in a couple years ago, and he's actually really the guy who helped us get onto Roc Nation distribution. He's always kept in contact. I've always kept in contact with him. So it's pretty cool to know that people believe in you and actually mess with real talent, and not that aren't trying to just sign the artists that just want to be viral and just make music off of being viral. And I feel like viralness and Instagram and TikTok sensations, like, they're still great stuff, but I feel like it's a lost music. I feel like music has become very saturated, and I feel like with a good team like Certified Cash and Roc Nation Distribution, they can really help you get out there a little further than where you are today.
Since you have a distribution deal with Roc Nation, knowing that your music is being distributed, how do you think that's helped your music being spread globally?
It's honestly their outreach is pretty great. Like, I've noticed my listeners, like my current listeners, are always like going up every couple of days. I'll have like more listeners, more people tuned in on my page. Pretty much it's just the outreach.
Well, as long as it's not only just spreading the word, but spreading the global scale of things, it's obviously moving in the right direction with everything. So that's an amazing accomplishment so far in your career for sure.
Of course, of course.
Now, in regards to your future plans and your future career and things like that, I know that you mentioned about a fourth studio album. What can we, or how do I say this? What can we expect off of your fourth studio album, and what can be the message on that?
My fourth studio album, I'm definitely going to go more in depth with my emotions. I deal with like depression, anxiety, PTSD, and a lot of trauma has affected me up until this day. And now I'm becoming a lot more, I guess, comfortable with talking about my feelings and how I feel about my relationships, how I feel about my music career, and how I feel about life in general, and feelings that I have bottled up for years. So what you guys can expect, honestly, is just more feelings, more experiences, and just I'm trying to get more into my sentimental side and just really get more in tune with the emotions. I feel like I need to release more emotional type of music as an artist. I feel like people need that. But yeah. My fourth album, I want it to just be I want people to love it. I want people to hear my emotions and hear how much I've changed from the last album. I mean, every album I feel like I get more in depth into my feelings, into my life. It's kind of like a book, like a series. I don't know what this one's going to be called yet. I had a controversial name, but might be too controversial now that I'm on a major distribution. So I have to rethink the name. I have a lot of songs ready to go, but I'm planning the release plan for them.
It's speaking about just the projects that you have and the future in music for you. Are there any specific collaborations that's going to be featured on your new album, or people that you like on your album?
Features, I don't have much features other than Billy Burnz. I'm not saying I'm not a feature artist. For me, it's about the chemistry. I'm a really antisocial person sometimes. So if I vibe with you and we happen to make a good song, then we can do it. But I'm not the type of person that's gonna like go out and look for a feature unless you're already in the studio and I like your vibe type of thing. And my studio is like in my house. Like, this is my studio, it's where I live now. So it's definitely, I don't know. I don't have any features. I mean, it would be cool to have some though. I definitely need some really cool singers on my album. I would love the diversity because I always have, it's always easy for me to find a rap artist for my song. I can be the rap artist or Billy can, for example, but for me it's chemistry. I'm not rushing it. But I don't have features, not much features for this one, but gonna be mostly myself.
Now, you just mentioned that you don't rush into things in regards to your music career and whatnot. Do you happen to have any short-term goals, long-term goals for your career as far as personal growth?
Yeah, I mean, short-term goals, like pertaining to music. Yeah, my short-term goals, honestly, I just wanna, for my short-term goals, I definitely want to reach more of an audience. That's definitely an ongoing thing. And being more active on social media, I feel like that's a more short-term goal. I feel like I need to be more active on social media other than just dropping music and, coming out for interviews and stuff, because I feel like that's my page mostly. Um, yeah, I want to be more active. I want to be more outside. I mean, it's cold outside, man. I don't I don't want to go outside, but that's gonna be a goal of mine. I definitely within the next few months, hopefully the weather's not gonna be that crap or that shitty. So definitely want to be more outside with the music and just, get myself more out there. Another short-term goal, I want to get back on performing, get back on the stage. It's been a little while because of the COVID. It slowed everything down, but slowly but surely.
Now, when we talk about your long-term goals and you being an activist and you being somebody who wants to not only share your music, but to also be an activist and to help people, how do you feel you can help the next generation with what you've dealt with in your career and with your music?
I feel like it can help people, telling them to be themselves. I feel like in music, it's you kind of lose sight of yourself sometimes. You know, sometimes music is very personal, sometimes it isn't. So depending on who you're around and who your influences are, it's gonna really shape your music and shape who you are. So what I tell young people or tell people coming into this industry or coming into music is just be true to yourself. You hear that all the time, but stay true to you because people love music that's about yourself. People love not just music about themselves, but anything, like anything in life. You just want to do it for you type of thing. Do it for others, but don't try to be like other people type of thing. Be like yourself. And that you're going to find a lot of beauty in that. A lot of people look at all the major stars out there. Look at all the major people or look at all your favorite singer. Why do you like them? It's because they're themselves.
Absolutely. And you've been nothing but yourself and a great artist. And I'm so proud of you and your success and
Thank
great
you.
work.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes another conversation with Justin. You can reach Justin Baptiste on any of the social media handles listed here. So, until we meet again, remember, it's Baptiste by Fire.